Okay, so we're going to try this whole streaming thing one more time. Had everything going. Everything looked like it was going good, but once I really started into the game, then it went haywire. So I have pulled the last stream, and I will start over without literally starting over. There's no real way to show you exactly where I was, so I will try and do something later to fix that issue. But I will continue on the house build. I will show you where I am and all of that fun. We'll see if this one does better. Okay. So, back up to where I was. As you can see, I've got a good sized circle already started. There was a rock next to two small crystals on this hilltop when I started, and that was my center point for this house. And let me turn away from the light. This is where I am on the map. Coordinates are approximately 45 by 38, give or take. So let's go back down here and continue the build in official style. Hopefully works a little better this time. So So this is a large greenhouse and hatchery. Once I get the outer structure done, I will show you how to modify in the hatchery area, which will require busting a few foundations. But it's worth it in the end. Let me check my count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we are almost to the outer ring. I need to remove these plants that are in my way and in my foundation. Now, for those of you that don't know, if you have plants sticking in your foundation that you have forgot to remove, rather than busting your foundations, you can simply hold your harvest button on a plant nearby and then walk over to the foundations while holding it, and it will destroy that plant. Let's continue building. It looks like my stream is going much better this time. I'm not seeing any warnings. Whoops. Placed in the wrong place. I will see about reposting the original video. It was 19 minutes long, but I don't know if it will work. I will have to check on YouTube and see if I can salvage any pieces of it. I will, let's see, I will go ahead and build another triangle. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to, Well, maybe not hard enough yet. Hold on. Let me do one more. It can be kind of hard to harvest plants that are inside a foundation. I will get that one when I come back around. It's not deep enough in the foundation yet. Let's do it this way. Square. There, now you're completely in the foundation, and all it wants to do is let you access the foundation. So, if you go out here and grab one of these and continue to hold the button, at least on the Xbox variety. I will not guarantee this works on the PC because I don't play the PC. But as long as you continue to hold the button, it will continue picking up the plants, even through the foundation. So that's a plus. Now, let's see. Let's continue this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this should be our outer ring. 5. Yes, this is the outer ring. This is the size that I ended up going with, I do believe. No, actually, I will take that back. I went with 6 on our official server, so I need to go out 2 more rounds. This is a very large house with a lot of materials involved. As you can hear by just how many times it's having to rebuild materials. I could probably leave that one, but I'm not going to. Can't leave that one because it's in the wrong place. Okay, so let me go over here to the tight side of this build and make sure that I am thinking correctly. This is where things get tight, is on this side where the cliff side is. So I should be able to make a run of squares. Oop. And then another run of triangles. Yes, it will. As you can see, this is actually a very simple pattern to follow. It almost lays itself out. Ooh, too quick on the button. Almost time for the fun part of closing in the walls. My walls are a little odd and mixed, but I will show you later on in the video exactly why I designed my walls like I do, and they will make more sense. Almost done with the floor of the house. Okay, and that is the floor of the main house. So now we'll go to the center of the house, assuming I can find it. There it is. 6 triangles in a circle. So let's fly up, and as you can see, this foundation is incredibly large. Now, if you enjoy the idea of pillars and ceilings, you can push this out indefinitely. But on this back edge, back here, the height of the foundation drops off. Or, if I can go out of fly mode here, the height of the ground drops off right here. So that makes it a little bit of a problem to continue this house the way it is. And I did not want to try to drop the foundations, because if there's any uplifts then it would be a problem. But if you wanted to drop the original foundations when you start this house, it is pretty well, as you can see, level throughout the entire place. Foundation heights just generally stay the same all the way around. One thing you can do to make this place look better is change these to block format. As you can see, it will make them match the triangles. I'm not going to go all the way around doing that right now. So what we are going to do is I'm going to go back here to the back of the house. And this is also how we have done it on our official server. Let me see the true back right here. Okay. Let me pitch out some of these useless items. The joy of creative. I don't really need any of these materials. They are just in my way. Okay, so what we done on our official is this right here. So now this is a fair amount of glass. But it's a generally safe area here. I'll go ahead and build up a couple layers just so you can see how this actually looks. Now, if I come back here and I go straight across to the front, as you can see, this is a long walk to get to the front. Now, I come up here, and what we did here is glass, 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 glass. My stairs. One thing to note is you need to put in stairs before you put in a behemoth gate. Otherwise, the behemoth gate will block you from putting in stairs. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this row of windows as high as I can. I personally like placing my behemoth gates early just because it makes it a little safer if you're building in an area where you could have Therizino or wolves or even Rexes just wander up. So, there we go. And I have actually messed up because this portion of the house was supposed to be walls at the bottom. I'm sorry for the noise. This was not supposed to be glass all the way to the floor. Oops. We actually have a reason for this. In general terms, it is not a good idea to have glass directly at the floor, except for in a small area, or an area where wilds are not likely to just show up, like the back of the house. So, by putting the glass too high, that keeps most creatures from being able to reach it, that would end up attacking the side of the house, so you don't end up with busted windows all the time. This is the part of the build that you will want to kind of do as quickly as possible, just to make sure you are sealed in from the dangers of the wild creatures that could be in the area. Okay, I'm going to have to wait till daytime to place that behemoth gate, so I will show you what my actual glass pattern was. So after the first 2 rows of walls on my official one, I went with tall walls. And it is 2-2, skip 2, all the way around the building. This makes for a fair amount of glass, but it also makes for a very interesting pattern, which you will see in the end. Okay. Maybe a little easier to see over here what I'm doing. Glad it quit raining. Okay. Now this is the part where it starts to get a little bit interesting. As you can see, we have an interesting looking surround around here. Now what I'm going to do to make us go just a little bit quicker is I'm going to go ahead and go up and leave the windows. I will do a row or two of windows just to show you how to actually do them. You will want to do these from down here, and if you notice, it will reach the top of the tall walls as they set right now. But you need to do 3 sets of tall walls. So the way I did it, and you can do it how you feel, but the way I did it is to get a thatch ceiling, I said, and I put it in my hotbar, and then I got some wooden ladders. Okay. Now, we take this thatch ceiling, we go up as high as we can go and place it. Now this gets a bit tricky, but this is something you can take back down later as needed. So I come down with my ladders, and I go up, and then I take and place another tall wall. Now these tall walls, you've got to be very careful. If you notice on here, this one has turned green and the jagged edge is to the right. The rest of them was placed with the jagged edge to the left, and they were kind of bluish. So you have to click the Y button on the Xbox to spin it and then place it. Otherwise, they will not match up. So, and I fell off my ceiling. Dangers of ARK. So now, we will get up here. I will get another thatch ceiling. Place it as high as I can place it. Now, some more ladders. Make sure it kicks to the outside. For this one, we will need to get back on the ladder we was on. So climb down and then place the ladder. Now as you can see, this is going to block me from getting back to the one that I was just on. And it kind of looks like the ladders are placing wrong anyway. So let's go ahead and build the ladders up from where I am, because yes, they have placed wrong. I'll have to look and see if that wall stepped anyways. I believe that wall, yes it did, and I fell. That wall stepped wrong anyways, even though I flipped it. So, let me bust one of these ladders. And then I gotta get up here and bust this wall. Joys of working in ARK, not everything places properly. So, I will flip it with the RB button this time. And I believe that one placed smooth. So, place our wall a little higher. Let me see if I can get out here to climb on this ladder without falling. No, I can't. I fell. So, now we got our higher ceiling. So, we will build up to proper height. Okay. Now, we are at 2 tall wall heights. We are near the top of the second one. Just like we was at the floor, we have 2 walls and then our gap. So we will put another tall wall. We will flip it. And that makes our top. Now, if you can see here, you will have to flip all these. I can still reach to place below me. So what you do is you work your way around with thatched ceilings and you bring up your windows as you go. Once you get it past the layer you are on, then you put in another thatch wall and you can bring your windows onto the top. Whoop. If you don't misclick. Don't you love that sound? There we go. And you will fall off of these thatch ceilings at some point. It's not a big deal. It's more of an annoyance than anything else. Oh, and I forgot to flip that wall. I forgot to flip that one too. I must go in creative so I can get rid of that because I messed up. If you are not in creative, then you can actually just build another thatch ceiling and ladder to get up there, or try not to make the mistakes that I make, and you won't have to worry about it. And I placed that. Did I? No, I placed it right. That's right. Okay. Now, I'm gonna shortcut ahead. You can, like I said, you continue around the house like this, but it's gonna take a while to build up all these glass walls. So what I will do is I will try to show pictures in a little bit of the finished product that I've built on official. But let me go ahead and put my behemoth in. Now behemoths can be a pain, but if you use them to your advantage, you can use these walls to kind of see what you're lining up. One thing that really helps is to actually find your center, line up with it, and then move around until you get the gate where you want it. Centering like this can be time consuming and annoying, but it can make your house look really nice if you take your time in doing it. I believe that's right. Let me check it. Okay, I am straight, but I am down on the steps and I'm not wanting it that way. I want our door in the house. So I'll have to back on up here and try it again. As I said, this can be a time-consuming process. But once you get it right, it will be looking very nice. Okay. I'm not perfectly straight on that, but I believe you can get the idea for what I'm going for. So I'm going to call that good because it's fairly straight. So now we have our gate and our walls, which are taller than our gate. We'll go ahead and put these glass walls in. Let me get this around to that side. I might break this up into a multi-part video. I have not yet decided. But just because I feel this video is going to get to be in too long, because this build is taking longer than I planned. And I still have not even started construction on the workshop. Whoops. Or the greenhouse. The greenhouse is another very interesting detail. Building in creative can be fun for the materials, but this building will take a while to build. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shortcut this process a little bit. Whoops, wrong button. Let me go ahead and put my greenhouse doors in here. So I'm going to shortcut this process a little bit. I've showed you how to build around here. I'm going to show you how to make the curve right here with your building materials. So as you can see, these are a reachable height now. So this is where the tricky part lies. So you bring up your windows without busting one, of course. Once you have your windows over height, you may be wondering how to go around the curve when this wants to go through the window. So, as you may have seen for just a second, if you move a little bit, it will place on the window and overlap on the one you're standing on. So, we will continue our build just by going around the curve like that. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I placed that wrong. I knew it as soon as I hit the button. I'm trying to get over here to the door. As you can see, you can reach two out on the windows and place them with fair accuracy. You can do the same on the walls if you wish to. And whoop, and I done it again. So let me show you how to fix a mistake. You'll put a thatch ceiling there, put a ladder there, climb up the ladder, pick up the wall, pick up the ceiling. If you're lucky, you will fall on the one that you was already on without too much pain. And you can replace your formerly misplaced wall. Now I'm only trying to get around to the door, around there, because there is a building fun at the door that needs to be taken care of. Now, something I run into on the Genesis map is the way the building system works. It makes it a little bit of a problem if you have to put thatch ceilings in your behemoth gate, which I did on Genesis, and to this day they are an annoyance because you can still see them through the behemoth gate. And if they drop, then the windows above the behemoth, for some reason, tend to fall. So what I do for that here as you can tell, I'm building blind right now on these windows. What I do for that issue here is I need to come up higher with my thatch ceiling. There it went. And then ladder down. Now I'm up here at the gate. So, find my height. Now this is where it gets interesting, okay? So what I've got to do is I need to get my stone ceilings back in place. Now I've got temporary thatch walls here. I did not grab wooden triangle ceilings, so I will use stone for the demonstration. Because I'm on creative, it doesn't matter. But I would suggest doing this in wood just for the cost. So you build a temporary runner out through here. This is simply a walking area to do your construction above the gate. When you are done, you will bust this one thatch ceiling and all this temporary walkway will vanish. So, now we get a stone ceiling. What did I do with my stone ceilings? I thought I made them. Oh, I've already replaced them. Okay. That's what I did with my stone ceilings. Okay. So, put a stone ceiling right there. Now that's our starter for our overhead. So what we will do that will be... Oh. Actually, that will not be permanent. But, that's okay. I will climb up here. I will put my stone ceiling where it's supposed to be. Yes, okay. Now this is glass, and this is... I'll put this in here. Well, I was going to. There we go. Yes. This is supposed to be a glass ceiling. Now, I'm going to pick that back up because of the fact that we need to be able to walk. So, allow me 2 seconds here. And I am going to check my photos because I have got to remember my pattern. It's a bit of a tricky pattern, but you will see in the end that it makes all the difference. So I am checking my phone where I have photos of the finished product. Okay, and I have actually started this backwards. So, I have started this completely wrong, and we'll have to restart this. Okay. This is the joys of creative mode. So, what I should have done is a glass triangle here for proper pattern. Okay. And then I can go with square stone ceilings here. Here. And then glass here. And here. And more squares. And more squares. So, because I'm kicked back a little bit, I can put my ladders ooh. ARK's lighting effect. Isn't it wonderful? Okay. Now we can climb up and fix my other mistake. So, my pattern is a bit tricky. But I have glass tying into stone, tying into more glass, and it's a neat pattern when it's done. So, we put a triangle right here. Let's see. Yes. And we put another triangle right here. Then we put a glass triangle here. If I keep my buttons straight. Okay. Glass, glass, glass. Now, this is where it turns. So, the square side on the outside is easy. Square, 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 square. And this is much easier if you build your stone walls up first. But, of course, I've not. So, it is glass, glass, glass. Stone, stone. Glass, stone, stone, glass, glass, glass. And then, on the square side, stone, stone, glass, glass, stone, stone. Now, for the back wall, to keep with the consistency of glass meeting glass and stone meeting stone for the most part, this will all be glass. So, we just simply triangle, triangle, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you keep track of that outside count, you can go around here pretty easy. So, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you switch to squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you can see, we are still over the other walls, but now we are back on the other pattern. So now you will go square, 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 square. Then you have triangle, 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 stone, stone, glass, stone, stone. Whoop, 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 whoop. One too many. Hit the wrong button. Glass, glass, glass. Then we go back to square, square. This was a very tricky pattern to design, but I promise you in the end, it is a very interesting pattern. I kind of see it as almost like a meteor strike type pattern, with the glass being the exploding portion coming off the center. So, as you can see, we finished the first outer ring. So now you continue with your opposites. So glass square right here, and then also glass triangle right here. Now this is how a lot of these points will go. These will go a little different. This one again, glass square, glass triangle. Now let me show you how these will go different. This will be a glass square right here. But then instead of just going to a central glass triangle, we will be going to 3 triangles. And then 2 squares. And then back to 3 triangles, 1 square, 1 triangle. This makes a rather interesting effect in the glass. Now we can fill this in with stone, if I can remember what arrow my controls are on. I'm attempting to make sure I am doing this right. Okay, yes, I see. Square, square. This is part of what makes the whole effect look so interesting. as you can see, these little outticks right here also have an interesting look to them. So I'm going to leave that like that. That is how these end up looking in the end. So stone, stone, stone. Okay, now that I've got this first one done, let me go in fly mode and I will show you the effect. Oop. Need to look from, there we go. Now, as you can see, that looks kind of like some sort of root or something to that effect. So, we will have several of these when I get done. What I'm going to do for now, I'm going to go ahead and stop this stream because this stream is closing in fast on an hour, and I'm going to start a second stream for just the roof. So hopefully you will continue back and watch the rest of my build, and I will try not to take too long, but it is taking longer than I originally planned. So I will be back in a little bit with another stream. Thank you for watching.